It's about to start streaming. When you see that loading button, I get excited. I'm like, hey, you don't know who could see this. Okay, so we are up and we are on. So, first of all, I want to say hello to everybody, and I hope that you guys are doing well. If you are viewing us on YouTube, a couple of you all are getting notifications, so you'll be popping in and popping out. But this will be recorded, so you can go back and look at it. But today, and you'll hear my niece and whatnot, she's doing ballet practice. So today we have a virtual vision party, and this is for our upcoming year of 2022. Whoop, whoop. It's going to be a very good year. But first and foremost, I just want to say we have Shelby, who is an influencer and content creator based in New York and New Jersey. We have a Jade. Oh my gosh, Jade Jackson. Everybody knows her. Does she really need an introduction? No, she does. But she is a journalist. Her work has been featured on network news, and now she is in Little Rock. And then we have Renee Washington. Anything sports, everything sports. She is on Twitter, Facebook, and she is up there. So if I were y'all, I would connect with her. She is amazing. And then we have a couple of people in our virtual audience, and I want to acknowledge you guys. We will have some more people be popping in and popping out. But one of the things that I wanted to do for this virtual vision party is, as content creators, which we all are, we have so many ideas, right? And it's like, okay, what is the best way to organize them? So what we are going to do for our quote unquote vision party, we are going to make sure all of those ideas are organized, and we are going to ask some of the best people, some of our upcomers. So that's what we're going to get started to do. But first of all, I want people to introduce themselves. Renee, I love your background. It is beautiful. If you could just tell people a little bit about you, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. This is my new setup for where I shoot a lot of like my shows and content virtually. So I'm doing a lot, as you mentioned, working with ESPN, doing sideline reporting, doing an analyst work. So that's for a variety of sports right now. I'm heavily into basketball season, doing college athletics. I did a lot of football and soccer in the fall, got a lot of lacrosse coming up in the spring. I also work with Fox Sports, which is where I host my show, Beyond the Headlines, which is actually this set that I use, as well as helping to just cover the Mystics, the Wizards, and a lot of DC coverage. And then I'm also a business owner. You know, that's why this vision party resonates with me so well, because a year ago I launched one of my businesses, Planted Not Buried, which is truly something that I had been sitting on and thinking about doing for years, that the pandemic actually thrust me into finally creating. So that's just an organization similar to actually what you are doing, Kamara, of just creating opportunities for people to learn, be empowered, inspired, educated through events, outreach, and there's a lot of great things coming up for 2022. So just a lot in sports, but also in other areas to give back to the next generation and use my platform for good.
Listen, I love it. You also have an organization called Planted But Not Buried. So this is used for motivation purposes, especially when people, they might have unexpected things going on in their life. And when you're scrolling in the midst of everything you scroll through, you want to say, hey, listen, I have some encouragement. So I really love that about you, and you are going to have a lot of success. So I can't wait to hear it. Jade, you are on audio, my love. And by the way, she's feeling a little bit under the weather. So we just want to if we can give her some claps in the chat section box, because I really think it's admirable that she would come on even though she's under the weather. So Jade, just tell us a little bit about yourself, love.
Thank you. I forgot my name on here said Jade is scared. It should say Jade is sick, but I digress. Y'all just pray for me. Jade Jackson, I'm just a news reporter here in Little Rock, Arkansas. I work for the CBS affiliate. Kamara kind of introduced me with some stuff that I have done previously, but for me personally, I know that my mantra is always you're only as good as like your latest work or your last story. So going into 2022 for me is kind of, well, what can I do next? You know, I got some good stuff in the past, but how do I keep building upon that? And I really like this idea of a vision board party because I want to hear some of y'all ideas. I also want to like share some of my ideas. I want to get some good feedback. And I just love how we're able to just come together to stay encouraged, to help each other before we even get to January 1st, 2022. So love y'all.
Yay. I love it. I love it. And it seems like as you are on this call with us, you're sounding a lot better. So just heads up. The power of community. All right, Shelby, if you can give us a brief um, background about you, because let me tell you something. Shelby is an entrepreneur. She is actually buying land and she is opening her own coffee shop. So journalist turned into barista. So go ahead, tell us a little about you.
Hey guys, sorry, I'm at my little brother's basketball game, so I'm trying to find a quiet spot.
Okay.
But hey, my name is Shelby. My 9 to 5 is running the social media channels for WHYY, which is the PBS NPR affiliate in Philadelphia. So that's my 9 to 5. And then outside of the 9 to 5, I'm the co-owner of Different Shades and Co., which is a forthcoming coffee shop in Trenton, New Jersey, which partners with homeless shelters to employ the homeless, house them, and then operate as a workforce development program so that they can open up their own Different Shades and Co., franchising the company and owning property of their own. So instead of earning a salary, they'll be building wealth through real estate developments. And lastly, like Kamara touched on, is content creation. So I dabble into some paid gigs and I'm just creating content that's inspiring, that's also informational, helping break down news, politics, and business. So that's me. Again, I'm sorry, I'm at my brother's basketball game, but
It's okay. It's okay.
that's a little about me.
No, we love it. And I like that you are taking the entrepreneurship route. A lot of journalists are realizing, especially after the pandemic, hey, if things turn left, again, what else can you do? And I really enjoy that a lot of people said, not just, with creating things on other people's platforms, but you're building a brand for yourself. So then if you need to do some type of marketing or whatever, you have the leverage to do that. So that's one of the things I enjoy. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty. I have my notebook and I am ready to help you all. We're going to help each other with this vision. So number one, if you have your virtual, you want to title it, and you also want to detail what your year of 2022 will be. So some people will say, hey, I want it to be a year of growth. I want it to be a year of this. If you don't know what you want it to be a year of yet, you just put it blank. But 2022 will be a year of, and then you want to sit on that. First of all, when we talk about goals, and I'm going to pick Renee's brain a little bit about this, but we want to start off with short term. So that is quarterly goals every 3 months. Then we want to go into long-term goals. And then we can also do some almost like mid-year goals and what we expect. So first, anytime that we talk about short term, it's the things that we can do probably if we just take the time out and do it. So short term, I like to put in quarterly. Now, some people even do monthly goals, which I think is good. So in terms of in the first 3 months of 2022, Renee, how do you organize that in your brain and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do?
So this is my bread and butter, like it's funny because as you were talking about, Kamara, about just being able to branch out, I love being a sports reporter, but I love also the idea of being able to grow my own, and I know Jade and Shelby can definitely agree to this, of being able to use the knowledge we have learned to create our own. So I was journaling last night before I went to bed, writing out my goals, because right now I'm kind of in this spot with the end of 2021. With the holidays, I like to always take a step back. I try not to do as much work-wise and take this time to really reflect back on what I've done for the past year. So actually my goals start there, just recapping all that I've been able to accomplish this past year. And I do like a SWOT analysis, as we used to call it, of what have I done in this past year? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the threats to keep moving forward? And I kind of do that with every aspect of my life. So I do that professionally as a reporter, of setting aside, look, I make goals, daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. I'm a goal addict, I guess you could say. And then of course, like I have like Q1 goals, so I'm looking at, okay, the first quarter of 2022, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to roll out. Here's what I want to happen. So now I'm actually in the process of creating and building those goals for the first quarter of what I want to launch come January. But I think the biggest thing is to really set aside not only goals, but ways to accomplish them. I think that's what I really strive to do is each goal, the smaller goal helps the larger goal, you know? So whatever that daily goal is, okay, every day I'm going to meditate, I'm going to read, I'm going to journal, I'm going to work out. You know, I have goals, and what I always try to do is make sure that they're not just professional goals. They should be personal ones, fitness, health, wellness goals as well, because they all come together. If my goals are solely, I'm going to go out and cover X amount of games this week, there's no balance there. So for me, goal setting is key because it just gives me time. It's more than just the actual goal itself. It's a process of like coaching myself through every day, every week of, okay, this is what I want to set out to do today. And then at the end of the day, I might not do all of that, but that's where you say, you know what? I've done all I can. I'm going to try again tomorrow. Try to be better tomorrow. And every day, just make it a little bit better than the last. So my goal setting never stops. But I definitely take that time, especially at the end of every year, end of every month, to really reflect back, okay, what have I done this past month? What have I done in 2021? And now what do I want to do to build off of that to make sure I'm continuing to move forward? That's what goals essentially allow you to do. Continue to move forward so you're not getting stagnant, complacent of where you are right now.
No, I think that's really good. No. One of the things that I really, let's just go back because then the teacher in me is coming out. So the definition of a goal is an idea of the future or desired result that a person or group of people envision. So the people who are watching this vision board party, who will watch it, when you have a goal, it's to say, hey, based on the actions that I will do, it's not a wishful thought. I want to accomplish this. So I see Toddy, he's a part of our virtual audience. His goal for 2020 was, or 2021, was to land a job in media. And he did just that. And what he did was he was applying, he kept pushing. I mean, he was reaching out to so many people, and now he is a digital content producer. So I really think that when we talk about goal, one of the things that stuck out, you said action. So we're going to write a couple things. Number one, when we talk about, you know, this virtual vision party, you need to have personal goals. I really love that. You need to have wellness goals. You also need to have career goals. And these are part of the 3 areas that will start you off to say, hey, listen, these are the different categories.
Correct.
And then you figure out, you say, because everything is evolving, things could change tomorrow. What are your goals monthly?
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals quarterly? You say, listen, well, this month I'll do this. This month I'll make 3 reels. Correct. So that can increase my engagement on social media. That's a real thing. Yeah. And then you have, some people have like 3 big goals they want to accomplish out of the year. Like they want to purchase this, or they want to do this. So you want to make sure that's at the forefront with your personal goals. Mm-hmm. Second, when we talk about vision and planning for the upcoming year, 2022, how are you able to navigate and say, listen, this is how I prepare? What are some techniques that you use?
For the last few years, I've always just written everything down. And just how you said, you got personal goals, you have wellness goals, you might have financial goals, you might have spiritual goals. I break it down. I actually have my notebook for 2022 where I break it down each topic or section and then write my goals there. And my thing is, if you have a lot, it's like you have to space it out. You got to time it out. You went back, or earlier you were talking about, 3 months. What are the first 3 months for 2022 going to look like for you? And I think for me, it's making sure that like, okay, can I put this in a calendar to make sure that like I can attain this goal for wellness, or this goal every Friday for financial when I get paid? Or can I even start now before 2022? How can I prepare if I want to start working on those professional goals as well? You know, and those would just be things like, okay, professionally, I want to win an Emmy. I feel like I did the work last year and I feel like I know what it takes. Now it's time to actually apply. Now it's actually time to network. Now it's actually time for me to go to my boss, be like, hey, can I submit this for the Emmys this year? Or even submit on my own, because you technically can. And then when you think about financially, I mean, I got a raise with my job. since I've been here for a year. So like financially, I want to save more because listen, child, I spent a lot of money. So how do I save? And that's just breaking down your budget, making sure like, okay, last year I kind of just went crazy. This year I'm gonna make sure I can save. And really that saving is for what the next goals would be. Personal goals. Personally for me, I want to be able to do something that can give back to like other journalists. I feel like I've been kind of doing that, but I want to do more. And I had this idea of like, maybe starting like a little charity fund for like small market news reporters if you need help with your bills or anything like that. Now, how do I do that? That's going to take more time and more tangibility, but I think the first 3 months could be like the foundation for setting that up. So it's really like writing it out, but then also manifesting, eventually getting what's on paper out into the real world.
No, I think that's really good. I really like how you talked about, listen, you have a schedule. I encourage every person here. This is something that has been working with me. Prophetess Tiffany Montgomery, I said prophetess. Well, yeah, Tiffany Montgomery, who is a great business owner, she talks about how each day when you wake up, you should have a schedule. And you really should. And I'm going to tell you why. You need to have a schedule because the day before, you have to understand what you're doing. If you just wake up blameless, I get it. Some people, I don't know. Some people, they say, listen, I know I'm going to be working from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. I used to work that shift. But what are you doing, like you said, personally, or wellness to make sure that you're still staying fit? So this vision board party, or this virtual vision party, is to help you get some things organized. Okay. So you should have a schedule every day. I try to make sure I have a schedule almost every day. 6 a.m. this, 7 a.m. this, and you need to do it by the hour because that will help you keep in line what you want to do. Especially people who you work a 9 to 5 and you say, listen, or a 2 to 11, or some of you are overnight schedules, 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. I used to work that schedule. You need to have a schedule, say, this is what I'm going to do to also accomplish some things personally that I want to do. Time management is going to be key. And that is something also that I work on. Shelby, are you able to say something about time management? Because I know you're really good with that. She does 9 to 5, and then she also is starting up a coffee shop up north. If you're not, then it's okay. She might not be able to. But Renee, I want to ask you about time management because I know that you have a podcast, you do things streaming via live. How are you able to structure your day?
Yeah, so what many people don't know is I have a lot of different jobs, including day jobs that help pay the bills. So the scheduling and it's prioritization of tasks and what has to be done. So what I really value is productivity over just time. I think that's something a lot of people say, I'm going to spend X, I'm going to today spend this time doing, whatever task, whatever job. You have to make sure you're actually being productive to maximize that time. So something I've started doing recently is to literally set a timer on my phone. Let's say it's a 20-minute timer of 20 minutes. I'm going to shut all the notifications. Look, my notifications for social media are off. I'm going to shut all my notifications off. My phone's away. Of course, your computer will still have messages pop up, but close them out if you can too. And for that 20 minutes, I'm going to just focus on this one task. Do as much as you can in that 20 minutes. It goes off. You take a break, you reward yourself. Maybe you stretch, you walk, you get a drink, and you do it again. So I think even down to the scheduling of your tasks every day is important too, to make sure that you're not just wasting time. I found myself sometimes at the end of the day, like I've been sitting on my computer, I've been sitting at my desk, but what have I actually been doing? We don't want to just sit and pretend to work. We want to actually work. That's the difference. When you have goals, you have to be working towards them. And then also within your daily, like I do a lot of to-do lists. Within that, I actually schedule out, okay, if I have to get these things done by noon, these things done by 5, these things done by 7. So I also within my daily schedule, kind of instead of blocking out, I'll still do that too. Like, hey, I want to get up, I want to go to the gym, then I want to do this job, then I want to do this for my show, then I want to add this game later. I will actually block out within that of what tasks do I have to do today and what time do I want to do them by or need to do them by, kind of prioritizing within your daily routine and within your daily schedule of what you have to make sure you get done. So now if you're working a job and you have, other things to do, okay, if nothing else, these are the things that I have to get done. So I think aside from even just scheduling, which is a really great point, to not aimlessly wander through your day, but to move through your day with intention, also make sure you're prioritizing what tasks have to be done, when you'd like to do them by, so you can make sure you're kind of holding yourself accountable and not just methodically moving through things, but you're actually like getting things done, being productive throughout the course of your day.
I like that. I want to, there's a couple of notes I wrote down about that. Productivity, and then also to-do list and not wasting time. I'm gonna let me see if Shelby wants to chime in again. If she has some background noise,
Yeah,
forgive her, but it's okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to second everything that Renee was saying in regards to productivity. I'm in the winter. I'm sure y'all know, because majority of people are like very energy deficient in the winter. So it's really hard for me to be productive, which makes me have to be more intentional about my timing. So I rest so intentionally, especially in this season, where there are days like 2 or 3 days where I will not do work. Because if I do work, it's like something here and there, and then it's unproductive. So I'd rather, and I think methods work for different people, but I'd rather have days or hours where I'm really owning down on a set of goals and then really productive in that time frame than trying to split into a bunch of days where I'm just doing things subpar. So
That's right.
especially in these seasons. So that's just a way that I keep track with my time management. Really being intentional about scheduling days to rest, especially in the winter months.
I really like that. Two things that stick out to me about that, Shelby. You said, listen, being intentional about rest. But when you do work, you and Renee said something, it's not aimless. It's not just saying, hey, I marked this off my to-do list. One of the quotes that I don't know why this stuck with me, was from Denzel Washington. It was like a couple years ago. But he says, movement does not mean progress. So just because you move from side to side does not mean that you are progressing in your life. Just because I kick a ball or I throw a ball to the point guard or to the shooting guard doesn't mean that they are going to make the point. That makes sense. And so movement does indicate progress. If you have 10 things to do on your list and you only get 3 of them done and you do them well, I count that as success. Because if you do 10 things in a sloppy manner and you just put it out there, well, we know right now that content is king. Everybody is paying for it. Why? You have TikTok, you have these short videos. And for people who are just now joining us, we are streaming via YouTube Live. So to stick with us. But we also have to be intentional when we are doing different goals and says, yes, Renee, quality over quantity. Having 10 things to do on your to-do list and you just put it out there and say, I did it. And it's not really progressing and moving you forward. That's not going to help. So that we have to really be cautious of that. So one of the things that I really like that you want to write down for your vision is productivity and then your to-do list. If you are a person that just gets 2 things done well, do them well. If you only have the capacity after you work your 9 to 5 to say, I can only make 2 flyers, you're doing a good job. I think that a lot of people, they get distracted with, we just have to have so much. And that part of greed that says, no, just pile 100 things on in one day. But then on your next days, what do you have to do? So I think that is really important. I want to hear from Jade. You are a queen of this. When you put something out, Jade, especially when we just talk about content or reels, and I've even seen you one day, you say, hey, listen, preparing for a content day, productivity. Explain to us like some not secrets, but just your techniques on being productive and making the most out of your day. Jade.
I'm here. I was blowing my nose. I'm so sorry, y'all. There's like, okay, I've had some people who are saying that like it's hard sometimes to do like things like TikTok or do like Instagram reels during the workday if they're working, because they're so busy working that they don't schedule it in. I think for me, I know that I have to schedule something in. If I see something, and it seems silly, but it can go a long way. Like if I see something that was like really, really interesting on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, I have an idea for content. It's just funny content. My content's just to lighten somebody's mood or just make somebody feel happy. I like to do that because I just like doing videos on the side, and I think it shows like my personality. I'm not doing it for anything except just to make people laugh, but I think it's more so just the mindset thing, because I get so many people who are like, how do you have time? Like, I'm always busy. And I'm like, you have to make time. You have to make time and you have to schedule time. And then sometimes you do have those moments where, like, say if I had not even funny videos, if I had something that I knew was going to garner a lot of like eyes, I think if you can try to be a little bit more strategic about that and don't just put anything out there just to put it out there, like be more strategic, plan it out. I think that helps as well. Those are really my like tips of, I think it's just more so a mindset thing of like, you got to get in the mindset that you want to do this and say, even if you don't even have, you feel like, oh, I don't have people like Jade to like look at my stuff, put it out there anyway. Like if you have a vision or a goal, it starts with the little things. It's crazy how you might have big dreams, but if you have no motivation whatsoever to do it, or you have no self-discipline, that's the key word, discipline to do it. They're just going to be ideas. And then you're going to roll around. It's going to be 2023 and you still haven't you're like, oh, maybe I can revisit it when you could have done that literally in 2022. So it's like changing your mindset, having the self-discipline to actually plan it out if you haven't already planned it out, or if you do plan it out, to just do it. Don't be scared. Don't be thinking, oh, I kind of feel bad today. I feel lazy today. I'll do it tomorrow. No, just do it.
You know what? That is a really key point, especially when we just talk about vision in general. You said a couple of words that stick out: discipline, strategy, and organization. So even on the days, that's why I'm telling you, if you know you work a 9 to 5 and it's breaking news, it's just crazy breaking news, you might only get 1 or 2 things done that day. But the discipline of you training your body and also training your mind and say, listen, I'm going to do this day, because Instagram Reels, they increase your reach. They increase your what is this called? If Toddy were to do Instagram Reels of really him being a digital content producer, more people will follow him, more people end up looking at his content. That could help for future jobs. That could help for his current position, because some companies, they pay based on your social media reach, because that's how many people know you, then more people come to their website. So you have to be very strategic about what you want to do. And another thing, I like what Jake said. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. Just do it. If there's something that I think I was either scrolling on Instagram or I heard somebody say, but over planning is also procrastination. We've all dealt with it. If you have 3 calendars, I have this, right? Then I have a big calendar. Then I have this. Okay. What you're doing is wasting time. Get a piece of paper. I have written things on a napkin and I've gotten more done. Get a piece of paper, write it out, even if it's not perfect. Start by doing it, and then you'll see the results. I don't care if you get 100 views first, and that's another thing. And then we're gonna wrap this up. But that is another thing when we just talk about vision and goal setting. Sometimes when you say, for example, if you put out an Instagram reel, right? And you say, oh, this is going to hit. It's going to get about 10, 15K. And it only gets about 3K. You still did it. But one thing, I'm just going to quote him, Mike Todd says, is that you have to steward well what isn't working well. Steward well what isn't working well. So even if you put out 5 to 7 reels in a week and you say, oh my gosh, I'm only getting 3 to 4 followers, keep doing it. But then also re-strategize and say, well, let's go back. Is the music that I'm playing, because you have to keep up with the trends in this stuff. I'm getting off of IG Reels. This is just an example. But even with LinkedIn, if you say, listen, you're looking for a new job, have you connected with 5 to 7 hiring managers in a week? It takes nothing but to click that check mark on LinkedIn. What are you doing to be progressive? Not just say that you're doing it or you want to do it, but what are the actions that you are doing to say, hey, I'm putting my foot out here. I'm putting my fingers to the keyboard, because we do a lot of scrolling on Instagram. And I am guilty of this as well. When Renee talked about not wasting time, one of the things that for my vision in 2022, not to scroll as much. I can't. People have scroll breaks and they put that in their day just to stay updated with what's going on. I think I might have to implement that in my daily routine. Because there are some people who you just get caught up. Oh, that was cool, or that was nice. So time management is really going to be key in 2022. Let's go to questions. Tade, congratulations on your new job as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You've been really killing it. Do you have any questions for us, sir?
Like like what are some like things that you could do to just help yourself stay motivated on your tasks? Like,
that's a really good one. I'm gonna let one of our moderators take that. How to stay motivated even when you're unmotivated.
I could jump in on this one. I think it's hard because with just the way that everything is always moving around us, and we're all guilty of this, where we have those days or those moments where we feel like we're not doing enough or we're not accomplishing enough. And that's tough, Toddy, like you just got a new job and you might still be thinking, well, dang, although I got this new job, this person over here is doing this, and this, I'm still not doing enough. So I think the first part is, in those moments where you feel unmotivated, you have to recognize it for what it is. I'm about to get a little spiritual on you, but it is a distraction. It is the enemy almost distracting you into thinking you're not doing enough to unmotivate you. So what I always try to think of is like, why am I not motivated right now? Is it because I'm not sleeping? Is it because I'm too busy scrolling through social media? Is it because I'm too busy talking on the phone instead of getting things done? There's usually like a trigger that may be offsetting that, where it's in that moment, I think of it as a time that this is where I need to take a step back, because something right now needs my attention and I'm not giving it my attention because I'm too busy focusing on other things. So what is it that I've been doing the last couple of days? What's changed or what needs to change? And then taking that time to refresh, reflect, and maybe that means go do something fun. Maybe that means that you've been doing too much of the same routine every day and it's time to go out with your friends, or have a wine night. That's what I do. Or just do something different just to break up the routine. But being unmotivated is very normal. You just have to recognize it and address it. Don't dismiss it. It's going to happen. We are human. So there's going to be times where we don't feel like we're doing enough, or we don't feel like am I doing the right thing? Should I keep doing this? Is this the right job? That's normal. So in those moments, I think of it as a time where you're being distracted and you need to take a step back, refresh, reflect, and regroup, and then try to find a new way to continue staying motivated. So it might mean that it's time to change up your routine. Okay, you've been going to the gym twice a week, maybe we go 3 times a week, or you have been staying home a little bit more, maybe time to get out. So I don't think of it as a bad thing. I actually think of it as a time of growth and an opportunity for you to really look at what you're doing and figure out ways to keep going. So honestly, I deal with them all the time. And I just look at that as a time to now creatively figure out, okay, what's next that I can be doing to work through this, if that makes sense.
I literally concur with everything Renee just said.
Appreciate that, Renee.
Of course.
I want to ask you this, Jade. When you talk about staying motivated, what are some, I like how Renee talked about, listen, I might change up my routine. But what are some things that you also tell yourself, even when you are in a funk? Because sometimes it happens. It's like 2 or 3 days go by, and it turns into 5 days. Like, wait a minute, I haven't did anything for like myself, my own personal growth. So how do you talk to yourself out of those moments?
I just talk to myself. I just be like, I'm in a funk. And I think if you can have one person at least, if not a few, because like you need like an accountability partner. So I tell like my accountability partner, who might just be like my best friend, who knows that like, oh, you've been trying to do this. And I'll be like, oh, I haven't done anything. She'll really be like that person that's like, well, what have you done? I'm just checking in. If I'm like, nothing, then it's just like, well, what are you doing? I'm confused. And it's like having somebody there that can like check you as well to make sure that you like good. So it's kind of like, well, what can we do? Because like now you slowing down and you said you didn't want to slow down, but now we here. So I think it'd be nice to have at least like one accountability partner if you know that like, okay, maybe I can't really hold myself accountable right now. It's nice to have that extra added support.
Oh yeah, that's good. One of my friends sent me something about an accountability partner, which is definitely needed. So it's 11:40. We have about 20 more minutes. And then we're going to wrap up with a few more extra notes. But I don't know. Please put in the chat if this is good, because I mean, this is having me even re-strategize a couple things, reorganize. Let me know in the chat. Give me some type of emoji, because I know people are going to watch this like, dang, I need a vision. I need to do this. But it's good just to have organized. And you don't have to have 10 things. If you say, listen, for this month, what I want to do is I want to spend 15 minutes and organize my thoughts. And if you do that once a week or once a day, that's okay. One of the things I think Renee really touched on is I think that when we begin to, if we spend, I guess, too much time not focusing maybe on our personal goals, we start comparing ourselves to others. And that can get really dangerous because everybody's capacity level is different. I don't have the capacity right now to start a coffee shop. That is Shelby. She can start a coffee shop. She can do freelance. Everybody has their own endurance and their own stamina. So you have to find out what works best for you, but you do need to strategize, okay? Aaron, let's hear your question. Aaron, did you have your hand up? You have a question?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Okay. I had to unmute. But I don't have a question for a specific person, but I was reading through the chat, and anybody can answer this question. I was reading through the chat and it said over planning is procrastination. Can any of y'all explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm going to explain it, then I'll have one other person explain it. Over planning is like this. When you plan something out, if you plan to go to the grocery store, and I give you brief examples, and I'm going to put you in right here background noise. But if you plan to go to the grocery store and you sit there for an hour, I mean, this is just simple grocery shopping, and you don't buy any groceries, you end up buying 2 or 3 things, you have overplanned and you have wasted your time. Procrastination really stops you from doing what you set out to do. So anytime that you're about to do something, especially if it's new, so for you it's photography. If you say, hey, I want to photograph 2 people this week, all you need to do is find 2 people. You don't have to overplan. You can just take them to a park and it can be real simple. Sometimes people overplan because they think they're getting a lot of things done, but they don't. I hope that explains it well, but let me see. Can anybody else explain it?
Yeah, I was going to say when you focus on planning so much that you don't leave room to execute. So now you're just planning, but you're not actually executing or strategizing how you're going to get those plans to come to pass. So yeah, like Renee said, it's a type of overthinking, and it really hinders progress when you think you're making progress.
It's a good one. Who else has something to say?
Okay, thank you so much. I kind of my phone had accidentally disconnected, but I will hear the replay and hear the full responses in full.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Let's see. We have Jamila Bay, that beautiful profile picture. Do you have any questions for us, love?
You know what? I'm just taking it in, and I'm loving this. 2020 completely took the wind out of my sails, and knocked me completely down. And this year I've been building again, but like that overwhelm, that burnout is real. And so I'm just here soaking in the, oh yeah, I do need to be doing some of these things and powering through it. And I do need to learn how to do TikTok, because I would kill on TikTok, but I don't know. Okay, see, I'm starting to stutter, which is my sign to say, okay, sit down and breathe and figure it out. So thank you for this.
No, no problem at all. And of course, the replay will be available on YouTube. Just go to my YouTube channel, Kamara Daughtry, and watch it. And also, if you want to just get up to date on TikTok videos or just short videos in general, hit up Jade. Jade is perfect, and she replies back. I know she has a lot of followers, but if you hit her up, she'll get you right. What you say, Jade?
I was just like, yes, thank you.
She does. This is what I'll also say before I get into my bullet points, because I'm a person who likes bullet points. I'm the person, when I read the article, I'm like, okay, I see this. I already got a gist of it. I really want, though, what you need to know. Boom, boom, boom. To move on to the next thing. Is there anybody else who has anything to say before I wrap up in terms of vision, in terms of what you expect 2022 to be? Because I really think it's going to be a good year. I know it will be. And does anybody else have anything to say before I get into my bullet?
I do want to add something, and it actually kind of goes back to Toddy's question and the idea of just working through not being motivated. And actually, Jamila was touching on this a little bit too, is just allow yourself to be human. I know we're talking through vision. I know we're talking through like planning and goals, but allow yourself to be human and understanding that there are going to be some days, like Shelby was saying, where you really, maybe it's a couple days where you really are in a funk and you're not feeling it and you're not like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything. That's okay. You know, nobody is perfect. And regardless of what you see on social media or anything else, we all have those moments. So as you're planning goals, as you're planning, what you're hoping to achieve, whether it's for a months, a year, whatever it may be, allow yourself to understand that life is going to knock us all down at some point. I agree. 2020 knocked me down in several ways, several times. And that's going to happen. And that's an opportunity for growth. That's an opportunity for you to figure out a way to pivot and keep moving forward. But take those times when needed. Your mental health is so important. Take those times when needed to really do something for yourself, whether that's some self-care, something fun, whatever it may be, because all these goals that we're striving to achieve mean nothing if we're mentally, exhausted and frustrated. So that's all I want to add.
I love it. Jade or Shelby?
Yeah, I would only add on to what Jade said about rest. Like I said it before, I will go a week without doing anything. I'll tell my business partner, don't talk to me about the coffee shop. I don't want to hear nothing about it. And I'll go to work and come back. And that's kind of like my refuel. So find what your refuel is so that you can actually execute and actually make progress instead of just having bullet points and vision, but actually manifest what it is you feel like you're supposed to be doing.
I just really love the over planning is procrastination line. Like that is like a gem for a fro.
That's me all day. You got 3 calendars. You have written the same thing down. You don't see anything wrong with that? That is dysfunctional.
I'll be thinking, oh, it just means I'm repeating. I'm serious.
I have written.
You said it's dysfunctional. That is hilarious. It really is. It really is.
What is the definition of insanity? Is doing the same thing over and expecting different results.
Just continue reading me, Kamara. Continue reading me.
I'm asking God to lead me every day. I'm doing the best I can. No, but this is what I will say. Thank you, Renee, Shelby, and Jade. Here are a few notes for my people and thank you for my YouTubers who are watching with us, and make sure you share this so other people will be able to see it as well. So for this virtual vision party wrap up of 2022, because it's going to be a great year, I'll put this nugget out there. Even when things happen that are outside of your say it's unexpected, or even when things happen of the world, sometimes you are able to control your own personal side of it. It's not being selfish, but I like what Jade says, like, hey, I'm going to plan for the future. So whatever you can do right now to prepare yourself for your future, because everybody here has a future, that means just different events that will occur after the moment of now, or this second, then try to do that. Hope that makes sense. So number one, and I try to take heed to this all the time, but every single day, you need to have a schedule, okay? Daily. Why, Kamara? Why do you need to have a schedule daily? Because from 6 a.m. up until 6 p.m., you need to know what you're doing. You need to have some type of balance. So you say, listen, from 7 a.m., I might work out, 8 a.m., do this, 9 a.m., I get to work. And then I do scheduling a break. And for my content creators, because content is king right now, you need to schedule. I don't care if you work for somebody else. You need to schedule a personal time, either twice out of the week. Be very realistic about what you're going to do. Twice out of the week to say, hey, I'm going to create content on this day. Even if you don't feel like it, I don't care like really what happens. You need to do it twice out of the week. And then weekly goals. You'll say, hey, maybe this month or this week, I'm going to do this and I'll work out. And then monthly. A lot of you all, Jay was even talking about different financial goals monthly. Figure out what that is. That goes into your personal goals, okay? There are some people who do Uber, roadie. There is nothing wrong with that. Don't overwork yourself. Find time for balance. But if there are different goals that you know you need to hit for the future, go ahead and hit them, okay? And then another thing is time management. Time management is really going to be key in 2022. I can see that now because there are going to be so many different things that will be thrown at you. It's going to be in a good way. It might be like good opportunities, but you need to know how to strategize your time. That's why I said it goes back to daily, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Renee said she has, what is this? Alarms on her phone. So you have all of the access. It's just what you have to do. And then rest intentionally. I know people, sometimes I might take a 15-minute power nap. Okay, 15 minutes, then I get back. Okay, so that's something to do. Seasonal goals, I really like that. I haven't even heard about that, but I need to do some more research on it. You know, goals just like the different seasons to accomplish. I heard Shelby talk about that. Scheduling, y'all, I'm not getting preachy, but don't waste your time. If you know you're not going to do it, don't even write it down. If you know you're not going to do 8 to 10 things in a day right after you have a 9-to-5 work schedule, don't write it down. For my job seekers who are watching this, if you say, listen to me, I am going to connect with 8 hiring managers, all you have to do is go on LinkedIn and literally press the check button. Whoever responds, send them a message. You have connected with 8 people. That's progress because you're in somebody's inbox. Denzel Washington. Something. Movement doesn't indicate progress or something like that. Okay. Last thing is people make time for what they want, what Jay talked about. So I don't really know, to be honest, Beyonce has 24 hours in a day. And I saw that on a cup in Marshall's and that stuck with me for years. So I'm like, if she can do it and she killing it, I can do it. Strategy. Jay said mindset, the little things. And just because if you put something out and it doesn't get the response that you are looking for, sometimes it's how you do things that are small and that will determine how you do things that are big. Renee, she is going to be a national talk show host. Like, I'm not even being funny. Like, that's what she's going to be. Why? Because she gets out there and she streams. It doesn't matter how many people are watching. You don't know there are people watching you that you don't know about. They're just waiting to see when the right time is. So you have to keep going. There were people watching Toddy. There were people who knew Toddy's name, and then somebody gave him a chance at the network he works at now. So he didn't even start off at a local TV station. He went straight to network. So I really don't care what the outcome is, and you can always go back and re-strategize. You might say, hey, I wanted X amount of people for this, for these views or for this event, but it's how you take care of the people that you have now. And if you're going to give 100% in that, okay? Even as a freelancer, Toddy was giving it all. Then when somebody saw him, said, yeah, I want him. Motivation. You're going to have to motivate yourself. That Instagram reel where it says nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. You're going to have to get up. Even the days that you don't want to. Sometimes I'll be rolling out of bed like, get up. Do something, do some jumping jacks, and then discipline. Discipline goes in with scheduling. You don't have to have like a hard knock schedule like that, but you do need to have a sense of, okay, I have to get this done by a certain time, and it's going to help. And I'm guilty of this too. So, and then organization. For 2022, I can tell that there are going to be a lot of, and there are going to be good things thrown at you, but it's how you organize your time, because a lot of you all might get overwhelmed with maybe the different projects, different things, but it's going to be good, but you have to organize your time, because people, if it's a deadline, they say they want it in 72 hours, they want it in 72 hours. I don't care what you have to do. You just have to organize your time. Some of y'all might have to lose sleep, and it's okay. Refuel yourself. But I want you to stay organized. So for this virtual vision party of 2022, there are going to be a lot of good things that are happening. I know that it is going to be a blessed year, but I mean, it's the 11th. We have a couple more, like 2 more weeks until that clock strikes 12. And like Jay said, your 2022 can start now. Your next paycheck that you get, you can start putting a little bit to the side. I don't care if it's $20. Say, throw that over there. So be intentional, stay motivated. And then, oh my gosh, 2 people sent me this week. Have an accountability partner. It's gonna be hard. I don't care if people are busy, but people make time to do what they want. People make time to scroll on Instagram. People make time to get on a YouTube video. Have somebody that you can trust and say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. They might need to put reminders in their phone. Let me hit Kamara up. Let me hit Renee up and see, did she do this video? She said she was going to do an IG reel. I ain't seen it yet. So can you please produce something? So that's what we're going to do, okay? All right, guys. It is 11:56. Hey, 4 minutes till show, in the show. I just want to say that thank you all for joining, even for the people on YouTube. I think we have Brianna. Hey, Denise. We had Balling with Keisha, and then some other people who popped in for us. Make sure that you share the replay. It is going to be available like in 5 minutes on YouTube. But I love all of you guys. And I know that this virtual vision party was a success. And I know that 2022 is going to be a great year. So I'm going to end this. Love you guys. Make sure you tweet about this and tag us, DCOW member or me. And I'm going to talk to you later, okay? I want y'all to have a phenomenal Saturday. Love you guys.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye, everybody. Y'all have a great
everybody.
weekend.
You guys have a
Happy
great weekend.
holidays.
Yes, happy